All right. So would you like to set up a bookkeeping system? Because you want to get better at understanding the numbers in your business, because it's not about just the top line revenue. It's about what is flowing through to the bottom. And to help you better manage all of that, I get the question quite a bit, like, who does your books? Who does your bookkeeping, Kevin? So I decided I'm going to bring on my bookkeeping company, the founder, Siddhartha Havelia of Mercurius Advisory Services, who's been doing my bookkeeping for like 4 years now, I think. So Siddhartha, thank you for joining us over here on Maximizing E-commerce YouTube channel.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I mean, that was in fact one of the best introductions that I've received from a client of mine. So, I mean, it's been a pleasure working with you for over 5 years. And to know you as a person, I believe, I mean, that's even more interesting than you being a client for us. So, I mean, as Kevin said, we have been handling his books for 4 years, and I'm sure a lot of Amazon clients or customers face a lot of challenge in terms of bookkeeping. So what we have done, we have just prepared a small compilation over here wherein we will run you through the basics of bookkeeping. I mean, what are the things that you can do to make it more productive for you? And thereafter, we would always be available for all assistance that you may require.
Well, awesome. Well, let's get into this, and so people can understand how they can set up their own bookkeeping system for their business on Amazon.
Right. Thank you. You know, a lot of time I hear from my clients that they keep on wondering how their cash flow looks like. They look at the cash flow, but the numbers keep on adding more and more to the confusion. I mean, it's like the transactions are growing more and more, and the glass which is there is filled up to the brim. Or in fact, I mean, the water keeps on spilling and they have like no control whatsoever on it. So whether you are a beginner or you have established store on Amazon, I am sure you might not be getting time to look at the reports or do your bookkeeping, right? Bookkeeping or reading reports is a nightmare by itself. But believe me, there is no option of deferring it. Otherwise, it will keep on piling up. Do not worry. We might have a jug to offer you by the end of this video, through which all the overflowing water, I mean, the transactions are going to get converted into meaningful reports. Today, I'm going to handhold you through first few steps for setting up an effective bookkeeping system. We will talk about automation, selecting the accounting software, and setting up of major account heads. I mean, it's going to be in brief. Before we start that, I mean, what is it that is easier? Remembering all your sales, remembering all the transactions and the associated dates, or is it going to be more helpful if you have it organized in an online software? I mean, just think, if IRS is going to come to you, whether it's going to come to you and rely on your words, or whether it's going to look at your records or the bills.
That's true. Right. Like, I don't think they'll accept, I feel like my numbers were at a certain point, as opposed to here's the report.
Absolutely. I mean, believe me, I mean, IRS only looks at the records and the reports. It's never going to rely upon the verbal documentation.
True. Verbal documentation. I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's something like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, Amazon today is one of the biggest marketplace that we have here. I mean, it is much bigger than a lot of offline stores like Target or, I mean, Macy's or other places. I'm not comparing any of them. It's just like, I mean, how I wanted to portray it. It's one of the vast platform for the sellers. And I would say, I mean, it is so convenient for the customers that they can find anything and everything on Amazon. But at the same time, I mean, because of the options that it offers, it is raising complexity for the sellers, right? The reports are vivid, they are thorough, but copying, pasting them on Excel is something which is not suggestible. I mean, it is not only about looking at the numbers on the reports. I mean, I understand as a seller, you have to make a lot of important business decisions based on these numbers, I mean, some of these can be deciding which product to sell, which geography to enter, and all those things. Until the time you do not have those on proper accounting software or in an organized manner, you would not be able to make sense out of those, right? So herein, I'm going to guide you through some of the softwares. I'm going to present you some kind of comparison for them so that you can make more informed decision, right? Signing up for software can help you immensely. I mean, it can help you in automating your sales. You can easily link your bank and credit card accounts, through which the software is going to automatically fetch the transactions, and just by a click of a finger, you can easily record them in the appropriate account heads and can get more reliable reports. Trust me, I mean, you can concentrate more on your core and can save upon the bookkeeping efforts, right? One of the bonus points that I want to mention here, I mean, you can even attach your paper receipts into the accounting software, and you will not have to maintain high piles or files containing them. And trust me, IRS accepts them.
Nice.
Right? So I'm sure some of you would be convinced, but a lot of you would be thinking, why should I do that? I'm sure by hearing the below reasoning, you might rush to your computer. I mean, the accounting software, it automates the transactions, it manages inventory, you can track your store's performance. Last but not the least, I mean, you can access the performance of your store or the accounting software from a place and time of your choice.
And on your phone.
Yeah, you can even do it through a phone. I mean, you do not have to be in your office on your system to do it, right? So there are no official website which is going to give you a comparison between the different accounting softwares. We have just compiled a small snippet comparing the 4 recommended softwares, which is QuickBooks, Xero, Zoho Books, and Wave accounting software, on different parameters, which I'm sure can help you in deciding which one you want to use. Remember, QuickBooks and Xero helps clients in SKU accounting for up to 500 different products. For any Amazon client, inventory management is one of the most tedious and most important aspect. And I would really say that it should be the strongest reason for you to choose the right software for your business. Having said that, do not go by my words. Sign up for the free version or the free trial version for these softwares and take your own decision. So I'm sure that by now you would have decided which accounting software you want to go in for. So after that, the next step is going to be laying down your chart of accounts, right? I'm sure it sounds like too technical as to what is chart of account, but believe me, I mean, it's one of the easiest thing which exists in any accountant's or bookkeeper's dictionary, right? So chart of account is nothing but a grouping of account codes or the different nature of accounts on how you want to see your business performance, right? There is a standard listing, but I would strongly recommend to my clients that think about how you want to see your business, how you want to track the performance, and lay it down accordingly. So I would say, I mean, a lot of my clients, they want to track their business in terms of particular geography, different marketplaces, or a lot of different other aspects, and I tell them that lay it down accordingly. I mean, do not rush into chart of accounts, because once you decide upon it, I mean, your business performance is going to be judged accordingly. So chart of account actually helps you in organizing your business's complicated financial data and distill it into clear and logical categories. It also lays the foundation for all your important business financial reports, right? It also helps you in saving a lot of time during the busy tax season, as you do not have to go back to your memory to understand a particular transaction or for finding a receipt. Still thinking? What if we do not organize the records? Without proper records, your financial transactions will be jumbled up and they will look messy. It will be much more difficult for you to report your taxes to IRS when the expenses are not very defined. This may, believe me, I mean, this may turn your truth into a telltale, and you might get unwanted love letters from IRS.
Oh, we don't want that. We want to be organized. So we have not the story, but we are able to tell what happened historically.
Exactly. Exactly. And believe me, I mean, whenever we start a business, there are a lot of different expenses whose benefit do not come to us in a particular year. So, I mean, it
Mm,
is very important for us to identify those expenses, just like a startup cost, which are not to be expensed off in a particular year, but amortized over the period of time. So, I mean, till the time we do not distinguish it, I mean, again, we will not be able to make the important decision,
mhm,
right? A lot of our clients, I mean, they also have like different businesses or different segments or geographies, right? So if you do
mhm,
not lay it down properly, there is a possibility that different nature of expenses can get grouped or combined together, and you would not know the actual profits of your business, right?
mm.
So very important to categorize them, to segregate them so that you can make informed decisions. Here, I'm going to show you some of the mandatory accounts that is a must for any Amazon business. So, I mean, you need to record your sales, your refunds, rebates, different types of incomes and expenses together. I mean, you cannot just combine them together and report them. I mean, there is something which is called 1099, and IRS also compares whatever your taxes says with 1099, right? So in that scenario, very important to record everything at gross level.
Well, and that's such a good point. And I think a lot of sellers maybe think like, oh, I just take whatever comes into my bank account and that's my sales. It's no,
No,
what
it's
came
not.
in from the customer minus Amazon's fees and whatnot. And so you would still get to the same number, but if your 1099 is higher than what you're reporting in sales, the IRS will think you have shorted them the difference, and that's just straight profit, which would be incorrect.
Exactly. And believe me, I mean, typically Amazon keeps something in between like 30% to 50% of gross sales as the different expenses. I mean, it can be FBA fees, it can be warehousing fees, advertising
Mm-hmm.
fees, or any other type of expenses. So, I mean, if you're going to combine it with sales, your sales is going to be grossly incorrect,
Correct. Correct.
right? So typically, these are how the reports look like if we have a proper chart of account, if we have recorded all the transactions for a month, for a period, then we can easily look at what our gross income are, what are the cost of goods sold, what are the different type of expenses that the business has incurred, and what is the net result of the business. So, I mean, this is all captured in a statement which is called profit and loss account, which is nothing but a compilation of net profit for a particular period. Then, if you want to, yeah,
No,
sorry.
sorry. I was just going to say, so just to make sure we're all understanding of how this is all starting to come together. So when we were
Mhm.
just talking about chart of accounts and like income, and then all those lines under income
See,
would
first
be
of all,
accounts, and then all those lines under expenses, for example, would be accounts within our chart of accounts. Did I understand that correctly?
yeah. So first of all, it's going to be selecting the accounting software, laying down the
Mm-hmm.
chart of accounts, linking your bank accounts, credit card accounts, PayPal accounts, and all those accounts into the accounting software, then categorizing those particular transactions, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when we have categorized all the particular transactions, then we get this profit and loss account,
Got it. Love it.
right? So there are a lot of sellers whom I've seen, they want to assess the financial situation of their business. There are people who want to sell their business. They want to go in for valuation and all those things. For them, the most important statement is balance sheet, which shows, I mean, what are the assets which are owned by the business? What are the liabilities that the business owns? And at the same time, what are the profits that the store is generating, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the valuation expert, I mean, he is going to ask you for all these reports before he can actually value your business and can tell you what is the value that you can fetch in the market.
Yeah, I can tell you, like Joe Valley from Quiet Light Brokerage, like anytime I've talked to him, he just keeps talking about what's your what's your accounting software? What's your accounting software? What's your accounting software? So I guess that feeds into what you're about to talk about now.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. So, you know, once I decide about these things, I mean, what are the accounting software, chart of
Uh-huh.
accounts, and other things. One important question that I get from a lot of sellers is, do I actually need an integration software, right? Or an application that can automatically fetch my Amazon transactions into the accounting software? It is a must for people who have a lot of sales, lot of transactions on Amazon. I mean, for a startup or for a small business, I mean, they can take their own decision. So what exactly is an integration software? It is nothing but a USB. The transactions from your Amazon account get automatically transferred into your bookkeeping software. You save upon your time in terms of recording these transactions, and you
Mm-hmm.
get better reports, I mean, more reliable reports, because they will not be prone to human error,
Mm.
right? So this is the most important software. There are a lot of softwares or the applications which are available. I have just listed down 5 or 6 of them, which is A2X, WooCommerce, Link My Books, Connect Books, OneSAS, and Zoho. The most widely used software is A2X. I mean, if you would ask me, I would say at least 60%, 70% of the clients go in for A2X. It's a beautiful platform. It links, I mean, not only Amazon, but you can also link your Shopify, Walmart, Etsy, and EB account to your accounting software. At the same time, it is little expensive.
Mm. So you have to
So
kind of weigh out whether to have a bookkeeper
exactly.
do that or have a software do it.
Exactly. I mean, even for the bookkeeper, if you have like thousands of transactions, the bookkeeper is going to take like a lot of time recording them. So, I mean, eventually it boils down to a point wherein you should make this investment to get more reliable data and to reduce the time that your bookkeeper is spending on your books.
Mm. Good stuff.
So, yeah, this was just like a gist in terms of what I wanted to cover today. I am sure the major takeaways is going to be selecting the appropriate accounting software for your business, defining the chart of accounts, and getting the feel of the financial reports.
Great. So you mentioned that folks can get a free consultation there on the screen. So we'll have a link to that in the description down below.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
It's not
so what do they
going to
get
be
with that free consultation?
not only the free consultation, but my team is also going to review their data. They would tell them what are the best practices that they are following, what are the changes that they need to bring about in their mechanism to make their reports look more reliable. And I mean, should they require like further support from our side on accounting and bookkeeping, we'll be happy to take it over and guide them through it.
Yes. And just as I mentioned at the top of the video, you guys do my books and have been doing for several years. And if I remember correctly, you're the #1 rated bookkeeping company on the Amazon Service Provider Network.
That's right. And apart from that, we are also available on a lot of online platforms like Upwork, People Per Hour, and host of these freelance softwares.
Yes. So it wasn't just my experience. There's a lot of other people that had good experience. And I know I've worked with I've talked to a lot of people that have worked with you, and they've been happy with it. So I would say, folks, just head on down to that description below and click that link so you can get a free consultation. Now, in full disclosure, I am an affiliate of Mercurius Advisory Services, but at the same time, too, like I said, I've been using them for several years. So I brought them on because I know that they can bring value to you. So awesome. So to wrap this up, you and I will be doing some other videos together. So for folks who are not already subscribed to the channel, we highly recommend you do so.
Absolutely, Kevin. I mean, you just put it in the right words. My idea is going to be, now that we have selected the accounting software, we have laid down the chart of accounts, we have understood how the integration software works. The next question that is going to arise in anybody's mind would be, I mean, what are the different reports that are available on Amazon? How do I interpret those reports? I mean, what are the reports that are actually required for my business? So I'm sure that together we would address this, but in our next video. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Great job, Siddhartha.